up nicely. It's the Drew and Fuse Show. The Drew and Fuse Show. The Drew and Fuse Show. Yeah, they clean up nicely. Yeah.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, how's it going, Fusemania? And all the Daft Punks? Doing great.
That's good. I'm glad to hear it. How was your weekend? What'd you get into this weekend?
This weekend was action-packed, man. We did emo punk alternative night on Thursday, which just keeps growing, getting better. It's a lot of fun. It's just expanding on all the sing-alongs and seeing what really hits.
Right.
Not always all the emo. It's like sometimes like just big sing-alongs that people have heard on the radio 1 billion times. I think Wonderwall was massive. I mean, I wouldn't even say it's an emo song, but it's just big sing-along. People have heard it 1 billion times. Friday, just regular old club night. Saturday, did a wedding, which was a lot of fun. Blasted off the club cannon, the CO2. Couples always go crazy for that. If you guys aren't putting that in your weddings, it's always a good little add-on, good booster. And then just a day party yesterday. So yeah, it was action packed, same kind of similar, same old stuff, but all the music is so different that it's hard keeping up on all this specialty stuff.
And you were mentioning off camera that you're probably going to be starting up on a Wednesday doing like a country night too. So another specialty thing you're adding to your week full of special events that you're doing.
Well, country and rock, like they want to do it in like one of my venues that I'm at all the time and help out for a little bit. Not my specialty, not really what I'm great at, but I'm always down to learn something. I think put yourself in those situations and be forced to dig is at least have a good little bag of the golden stuff.
Right. So Wednesday will be country rock. Thursday will be like emo EDM 2000s, like Justice. Fridays is open format. Saturdays you're either at the club or a wedding, and then Sundays is like indie house.
Mostly house.
Yeah.
Mostly house day party mashups and stuff. So yeah, it's a lot of digging and a lot of prepping and tagging. So that's where all the tags come in. We always talk about that, and yeah, you got to just stay up on all that so you can find it. Really, like when I'm in the middle of it and trying to know what you want to play, it's like make sure it's tagged correctly or in a crate that's like bangers, so I know where to go in it when I'm stuck.
Right. It's tough to stay up with it all. That's kind of one of the ruts that I feel like I'm in right now is like all the gigs that I'm doing are pretty much the same. So I feel like something's going to pop up where they're like, "Oh, we need you to do this." And I'm going to be like, "Shit, now I got to spend like 3 days getting this ready," but that's how it goes sometimes, and my weekend was kind of the same as the last time we talked about our weekends on here. I did 3 gigs. Friday night I was at Fishbowl. Saturday I was at Red Leprechaun. Sunday I was at Killer Queen. All 3 are on the banks. They were all slower, which you know how that is. It's always like you're just grinding when the gigs are slower. You're just like trying to do something to keep it going. So it can be a little
it's almost the worst because people come up to you not thinking it's your fault, but at the same time, like, impress me. Or now I have a free ticket because it's dead to badger you for requests.
Yeah, bug you. Like, I get it. There's nobody in here. You're like one of 20 people in the bar, but like still what you're asking for isn't good for the other like 18 people in here. Like
I had on my Sunday I had this house party, and I'm DJing house, and everything's great, everyone's vibing, everyone's having a good time, and this guy comes up, he's like, "Hey man, you take any requests?" I'm like, "Yeah, as long as it fits inside of what we're doing today, it's like house vibes." And he's like, "How about some reggaeton?" And I said, "No." And he was shocked. I'm just thinking, where are you at? What room have you been in that all of a sudden, like, let's just flip this place upside down?
Yeah. And what I want to tell people too is the venue that you're specifically talking about, that day that you're playing is they are very like pro DJ. They are very, we have a vibe here. They are very don't take people's requests. In fact, one of the owners, she's text you what she wants you to say to people. So they have they know what they're looking for, and reggaeton isn't it when somebody's coming up to you.
Like, or they'll say, play Bad Bunny. I'm like, yeah, I don't mind playing a remix. I've been playing remixes all day. So it's not a bad, It's nothing wrong with playing like a house version of it. It's just, reggaeton is slow and house is fast. Faster.
Right.
At least it's more of a thing. So I did work in like a Bad Bunny like house remix, but they're sad anyways. They don't even know it's fucking Bad Bunny because it doesn't have the drums on it. So whatever. Doesn't matter.
That's what you do. You make people sad. Have you ever made somebody happy at your gig?
No, they even if I play their requests, like they don't even acknowledge that you did it or high five you. It's just flip you off and keep it pushing.
Well, speaking of crates and remixes and all that fun stuff, if you use the promo code Drew and Fuse Show, you'll get 30% off your first month of activation from DMS. If you haven't tried DMS yet, we probably hear us talk all the time about it on here, but give it a shot. That promo code, like I said, will give you 30% off your first month. Also, Drew and I do the Crate Hackers Hackathon. It is the last Tuesday of every month. We do some music episodes on this podcast where we just talk about songs. The last episode or 2 episodes now we released is one we did with Even Steve, where we just talk straight music and songs that are working for us. And essentially that is what we do on the Crate Hackers Hackathons, and they are live. So if you enjoy those, come over, join the chat with us.
Yeah, it's free for anybody. You don't even have to be a member of Crate Hackers, and it's a new topic every week. And we all just brainstorm and find out, songs that are working for everybody on that specific topic. So
if you want to check out Crate Hackers as well, you can use the promo code DAFS, DAFS. It'll get you 50% off your first 3 months, or it'll get you 30% off an annual plan. So if you haven't checked out Crate Hackers and you want to, use that promo code. All right, so let's get into today. We have a guest for you guys today. He's hailing in from Cincinnati, Ohio, my hometown. And I think this is only besides Simo, the only other person we've had on from Cincinnati.
We had Danny.
Oh, Danny. Yeah, that's right. So he's been DJing for over 25 years. He does a ton of big events here in the city. Just to name a few people that he shared the stage with: Jazzy Jeff, Big Daddy Kane, Chub Rock, Dana Dane, Kid Capri, Dougie Fresh, Biz Marquee, Rick Ross, Too Short, Slick Rick, a lot of big artists. He's on the radio weekly here, 100.3 Cincy, the R&B station here in Cincinnati. While he's not DJing, and he DJs a lot, he's a full-time Cincinnati fireman. Please help us welcome DJ Vader.
That's a lot, man. How you doing? What's up, fellas?
How you doing? Thanks for being on. We're stoked.
It's an honor. Thanks for having me. And speaking of DMS, I think I've been a member for like close to 10 years, maybe. It's been a while.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. Like thousands of credits. I love it.
I remember when DMS first came, before I worked for DMS, I was like, wait, an intro version of this? No way. Finally.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it was Fuse. Fuse got me hooked up with DMS, and I was like, oh, I was hooked ever since. So I appreciate that, man.
No problem. I'm glad you're using it still. I'm glad you like it. All of us at DMS, when we go and we talk about like DJing and stuff, we always tell people like, the music is the most important part. You shouldn't just join one record pool. You should have like a few record pools that you belong to, and we just hope to be one of the few that you keep.
I'm there forever, man. So until you all kick me out. So.
Right on.
Let's get into it a little bit. One of the things, we wanted to bring you on the podcast because you're here in Cincy and you're a big part of the city, and you do a lot of big events, including like throwing your own parties. You're on the radio, and you share the stage with some big artists. You just kind of want to tell us kind of how you got your start and kind of how it's evolved.
Oh man, so I just recently turned 50, so I kind of grew up with hip hop. So. My father, who was a Cincinnati firefighter as well, when he would come home, he would de-stress by listening to records, different genres, and he would sit me next to him. That's when I fell in love with music. Well, when I heard Rappers Delight and all that stuff, I was like, oh, this is what I want to do, right?
Yeah.
Rap career probably didn't work out well, but the DJ stuff just started out as like house parties, putting stuff together for people, having a good time, not really thinking that it would be a profession. But then all of a sudden it fell in my lap as a profession. And I was like, holy crap. All right, here we are. So it was little steps that created the bigger one. So little bars and like hanging out with people. And I'll do this for a nominal fee, things I wouldn't do anymore. But we've
Right.
all been there. So that's
When I first started, I was a jug of whiskey and a pizza. And it wasn't even like good whiskey. We were like, oh, maybe the Evan Williams or something. Just
but we've all been there. We've all been there.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
got to start somewhere.
Now you're doing, bigger events. Like I've seen when I'm scrolling Facebook, I always see like you've posted like you're on a stage opening for somebody like in an arena. Who was like the last one you did in Cincy or at wherever?
Well, I had Chubb Rock here for my birthday party, and that was phenomenal. That dude is outstanding. Let's see, I would say
You booked Chubb Rock for your birthday party?
yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. That's awesome. So
Yeah.
I'm curious how you would go about doing something like that. That's what I'm asking is like,
So-
you rent a hall and then you're like, just, see who falls inside your budget, or Chubb Rock was the guy and you went after him.
Well, Chubb Rock was the guy. So
Okay.
we've done a few concerts together across the United States. And last time I saw him in December. I was down in Atlanta doing an event, and it was Chubb Rock, myself, and Dougie Fresh. Well, I told Chubb, I said, hey man, I'm turning 50 next year. He was like, when? I was like, in spring. He's like, I'm there. Just give me a call. And that's kind of how it worked out. But that's the kind of relationship we have. I call him up, say, hey, are you free? The party was on April 6th. He was like, yes, I'm free. Of course, it's not free. So he gave me a free, and we worked it out. But when he comes here, it's all love, and we have a great time. He has phenomenal stage presence and crowd control. So, and that's what you would want out of an artist. Depends on the artist. You may reach.
Well, I just want to know exactly about your birthday party. Now I'm like excited. Like, so
Yeah.
It was fun. It was fun.
Where'd you do it?
I did it at Code 51.
Okay.
And it was packed to the max.
Do you advertise that he's coming, or it's just your birthday with surprise guests? Okay.
I advertised that he was coming. I did a lot of social media ads versus radio ads, which is bad because I'm on the radio, but that's just the way of life. And the word of mouth, and it was packed. It was packed.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I want to backtrack for 1 second. In that little thing, you kind of jumped over that you were on tour with him and everyone else. It's kind of a big jump from parties to like under in a sentence that you were on tour with all these guys. So at what point do you get on radio first and then you start touring with these guys, or at some point, how did you start touring with some of these acts?
Each one is different. I've been on different R&B concert stages, different hip hop stages, and each one is really different. Some of them bleed over to the next. So, for instance, I was doing artist concerts before the radio.
Okay.
All right. The radio came kind of after, and through the radio, you do radio events and things like that. You meet more people, but really it's the word of mouth when you're actually at the concerts. As I pride myself on respecting the artist, and if the artist has a DJ. So, for instance, like New Edition and BBD's DJ Shakim, like he's legendary, and so I will talk to him and say, "Hey, what's your set? What do you want me to stay away from?" Some DJs will give you a lot of songs. Some DJs will say, "Hey, just do you." I'll pick up the slack. And so Jazzy Jeff said that. He said, "There's millions of records out here." He said, "I don't care what you play. Make sure it's hot, because wherever you're coming off of, I'm coming right in on. So I'm gonna be on your ass." So, and it's cool, like when you have people like that. But I think it's word of mouth a lot of times. Like if you show that you're easier to work with than others, you have crowd control. You're not scared of the crowd. You kind of controlling the crowd, get in and get out, and do what you need to do. Word spreads.
Yeah, and I've never done a live stage or like performance like this. And we have a lot of young listeners that are. We're always trying to push all the different avenues of DJing.
Uh-huh.
How do you go about prepping being on stage? Or I know you're saying you're just reading the crowd, but like, do you have little crates that you're in and like to get hype records, or how do you go about prepping that?
You definitely want to get the crowd hype, especially if you're the opening DJ. My thing is I like the audience to sing, right? If I'm playing a song that I know you're going to sing, depending on what type of avenue it is, if it's a hip hop concert, if it's an R&B concert or whatever, I want you to sing. I want to cut that music and hear the audience sing. Once I hear you sing, I got you. So yeah, I have a crate of sing-alongs, all types of songs that's in there. But dealing with concerts, you can have 2 minutes, you can have 2 hours. Right? They may say that you got a 10-minute break. It may come back as really it's a 3-minute break. So
Right.
you got to figure out what is going to be the impact that they're going to remember your name. So if you don't come back on the stage, they'll say that DJ made my night. Right.
Right.
So I would say for the younger audience, younger DJs that's listening, I was told by a wise DJ, it's always the songs you're tired of, but it's the songs that people know. The songs that within 3 chords you know, and it takes you back to some type of memory that you have with that song. Love it or hate it, more than likely, you'll nod your head and you'll sing to it.
Right.
And I didn't understand that until it finally hit me. And played their songs, and then within 3 chords, the crowd is going crazy. I'm like, oh, okay. And it's not the time to experiment on something that they're not ready for.
Right.
I'm one of the DJs for the Cincinnati Music Festival. And the year that Janet came, it was 78,000 people there. It's not the time to experiment on the new song. They're not there to hear that. And no disrespect, to anybody that has new songs, but they want familiarity.
Just for people that are listening, the Cincinnati Music Festival is a big thing here in Cincinnati. It's a whole weekend thing, and it happens at Paul Brown's, Paycor Stadium, where the Bengals play. So
Yeah.
it's pretty big deal.
It is.
To do that. So I just want people to know that are listening that how big of a scale that you're DJing to when you're doing that.
Yeah, they said it is the #1 ticketed concert event in the United States.
Wow.
Yeah. So when you're playing music and you cut the sound and 78,000 people are singing a song that you just played, based off the minutes that you have, that is
Right.
Goosebumps. So it's a good time.
When you did that event, were you playing like between artists, or did you have like a? So you're playing between a bunch of different artists.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the way this set up, well, Thursday night they have a new event that's usually geared towards hip hop. So the past couple, like last year, it was Dougie Fresh, Big Daddy Kane, Slick Rick, and Rakim. Right. This year it's going to be EPMD, MC Light, Black Sheep, and somebody else, and me. But
Yeah, don't forget yourself.
yeah. And so when you have that, it's KRS-One. Ooh, how can I forget that? All right.
Nice. Yeah.
So
Amazing
that's
live show.
Thursday night, right? And that's I am the only DJ attached to that. But Friday and Saturday's event at Paycor Stadium is myself and the DJ Ellery from Cleveland, and he's on one stage and I'm on another. So it's kind of like a Cincinnati Cleveland thing, and we go back and forth. If they have 2 stages, if it's on the A stage, then he's playing in between the act. If it's on the B stage, then I'm playing. So we go back and forth all night.
I would imagine that when you're doing that kind of stuff, that you can kind of run into some hiccups here and there of just like, okay, this next artist is going to start in 10 minutes. And then it's like you're 20 minutes in and you're like, hey, is this next artist starting soon? Like, am I supposed to like...
all of that stuff happens and has happened. You just have to be ready. I'm also a member of Crate Crackers. So, as long as your crates are deep enough, you should be okay.
Right.
But you got to be okay to the point where it's not like it's a lot of action in a small amount of time, right? So you have to keep people engaged, high power energy, for however long you're spinning. And if it goes over 20 minutes, if it goes over an hour, eventually you start running out of that high power energy for people to be engaged. And,
So do you have to, you look at the bill and you got to stay away from basically any artist that's on the bill, I'm
Yes.
guessing, right?
Yes.
And then after that, do you deep dive into who the artist is coming up before you? Like, okay, they were like big R&B act in the 80s. I'm gonna play around that, or you go 90s to 2000s. Like, you're not. Do you stick in their genre, or do you go all around? Doesn't matter.
It depends on who the artist is. You can stick in a genre or do the stuff that you know that the people are gonna sing. So maybe
Yeah.
you can do a little bit of both. For instance, you play a song that you know everybody's gonna sing, and then follow it up with something that may not be as familiar, but they know it enough to respect it. Right.
Right.
If you have a longer time, if you got a shorter time span, it's everything that they're gonna sing,
Right.
everything that they know off the top of their head, and that they're gonna hold their drinks up high and get up and dance. So
I love it.
yeah.
Over, of just doing all the stuff that you've done and playing with people that you've played with, who have been some of your favorites? Obviously Chub Rock, because you had him at your birthday party.
Yeah. Chub Rock, definitely Jazzy Jeff, um, Kid Capri. He is a great party DJ. Once he gets going, is hard to follow up on him. Oh man, it's been a lot.
You mentioned Janet. Did you play before Janet?
I played before Janet, but
Okay.
she has her own DJ Active, based out
Okay.
of Philly. And obviously, me and him, we go way back. We did an event in Minneapolis like 15 years ago, and he still remembers that. But have a conversation. Like I said, I love to have a conversation with the DJs before, because they have a certain set, and that's it. Before
Right.
their artist comes on, and I don't want to play a song that they're playing
Right.
to lessen their impact. Like, I have free range to do a lot of stuff, so I at least try to make sure that whatever they're scheduled to play, stay away from it. So,
Right.
Wow, it's crazy. He's preaching being respectful, DJs. It's a crazy thing that for some reason all DJs that are young and starting out have a hard way of grasping that.
yeah, I think because everybody's trying to make a name for themselves, right?
Right.
If you do what's right in the beginning, your name precedes you in rooms that you're not even in, right? But it's hard to see that when you're out here grinding, right? And we've all been on a grind, but we grinded a different way. We didn't have to grind and dump each other down. I think now it's just there's no room. There's like 2 billion DJs, so
Right.
it's a different mentality.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me because like we're in the same city and like your lane is completely different from mine and you're doing like all these crazy big things and it's just like there's so much yeah, thanks, but there's what I'm getting at is like there's so much stuff. It's just amazing to me, like even within the city how much like there's so much work and gigs and events and weddings, and all I'm saying is like art, we know each other. I respect you a ton, but like we're so in our own like world too at the same time. And it's just what I'm getting at is there's so much work out there for DJs that it doesn't always have to be like the stepping on people's toes with stuff.
But I don't think they see the bigger picture. Some don't see the bigger picture, right?
Right.
We met during the DJ battles back in the day. I think it was a Pavilion or something like that.
Me?
I mean, Fuse. Sorry.
Yeah.
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 Yes.
And so things were different, a little bit different then, right? And now I just think that you have clusters of people that try to take over clusters that's already established, not
Right.
knowing that there's other clusters around the world that you can be a part of. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating to see it from the outside looking in, because it's like, hey, they're okay over there. Create your own lane.
Right.
It's much easier to create your own lane versus trying to ram into somebody else's.
We've heard it from a lot of guys on here of like, even just like if you're wanting to be successful or to get into places, like one of the best ways you can do that now is just by like starting your own party. Go to a venue or whatever, and that doesn't have anything going on that night, and be like, hey, I want to do something on this night, and here's what I want to do. And I feel like even like your birthday party, that's what you did. You went to a spot and you were like, hey, we're gonna do this party here, you know? And I'm sure you have a working relationship with them as well, but
Yeah. Well, I tell DJs all the time, create your own event, throw your own event. You're not always going to win, but boy, when you do, it is well worth the payoff. And like you said, find a spot that maybe has a slower night, see what you can do with them, and build from there. But it's not always going to be, I'm doing a party. Oh, it's 2,000 people. Yay. Like, no,
right.
it might be three, but those three tell three other people and you multiply from there. But I think it's some gratification of some of the generation, not all of them, but some of them that deters them from wanting to start and grind like that.
I think too, you mentioned, like for your birthday party that you did ads on social media. And I think one of the things that you have to do, whether it's a party or equipment or whatever, is you have to invest in what you're doing. And like social media ads are the best way to reach people. Even if you want to throw a party and your friends aren't even like into what you're doing, you're going to reach people via, investing in that, and I think that's a good tool. A lot of people just don't understand it. They just think, oh, I'm going to post something on Instagram and that's going to be it. And it's like, there's a whole,
they're going to show up. Everybody that hit the like is going to show up and we're going to have the greatest night ever. Doing ads is really hard work. When you dig into it, you can target specific people. I want people that listen to R&B. I want people that listen to house music. I want single females ages 21 through 59. So you
Right.
have to really dig into the algorithm to see. And then like your ad, it can't have too many words on it, or you have to, like, there's very specific, but when it works great. And you can find yourself a whole new audience. But I know a lot of people think that if they post a flyer, people will show. Like, it doesn't always work that way.
And so do you have a certain budget that you're using to set aside for each party? You go through it on Facebook. What do you found has been your best avenue?
Facebook constantly changes their algorithm. So, you can buy a $50 ad and it does just as well as a $500 ad, right? And then they may change it all up and you have to update everything. And now that $500 ad is where you need to go. So it's staying on top of that. I would say that depending on the party and depending on your core audience, once you pinpoint and save that audience, and I'm giving like free game to those people.
Right.
Once you pinpoint the audience that you want, please save that audience. And then anytime that you're doing a sponsored ad, you can click on that audience that you already have saved and it'll automatically push out. Now, the default is for Facebook or Instagram to just spread it across America. So now we have a party in Cincinnati that people in Connecticut is seeing. That makes no sense. So you have to titrate down to the wire of what you're actually, who you want to see this, who do you want to see the ad.
Right.
So the money, it just depends. Like, they'll give you an estimated view of how many thousands or hundreds of people may see this with all the options that you picked. You don't want to be like broad, because you can say just Cincinnati and it'll show like 1 million people. But out of those 1 million people, who's going to take the time to come to your event? So you have to titrate it down.
Right.
Yeah. No, I think it's a good thing. I feel like it's something we really haven't talked about on here much, is like running ads and stuff. And it's like a huge part of what could be successful for DJs with events. And like some of the people that are the best at ads we've had on here with Crate Hackers, and Joe Bunn runs like super great targeted ads to DJs. So when like you're a DJ and you're like, why do I always see these? It's because he's a whiz behind that stuff,
Yeah. And when once you figure it out, it is great. I see Joe Bunn's ads all the time. And then another thing, he sends out the text messages too. Like,
right.
So all of that stuff we are in the lines of customer service, pretty much. Like whether you want to admit it or not, if you DJ for other people, it's customer service, and you want to add more customers to your fan base, right? Um, and the way to do it is to be multifaceted, especially when it comes to advertising yourself. We all have different logos. That's one way of advertising when you're out. It's like, oh, okay, that's true. That's views, right?
Right.
And that may transpire over to social media, where that logo. I know that logo is blah blah blah. Well, then when you see that logo mixed with the flyer, you trust that DJ that's on that flyer. Like it's not saying live DJ like a lot of flyers say.
Right.
Guest DJ, live DJ, special announcement DJ. So you have to trust your brand. And so usually if they trust your brand and they see that you sponsored an ad, they're more likely to come support you because they trust you as a DJ and your customer service.
Right.
That's awesome. I think it's great that we got to talk about that a little bit, because I think that could be a helpful thing for anybody that's like wanting to start their own party, or how do I get? I'm already started my own party. How do I get more people there? And running the ads on Facebook and Instagram. Like one of the things, I was at this Level Up for DJs conference. That's maybe been about a month, but one of the guys was telling me that what he does is he posts video, Instagram reel every Monday of like a routine he does. He just posts one every Monday, and that's like one of his things. And he says the ones that perform, like Instagram will tell you like this ad or this post is performing higher than your other post, right?
Mhm.
So he says one of the things that he does on posts that come across to say that is then he just goes and sponsors those posts, and he reaches so much more people,
Yeah.
and his following is like, he said that 3 years ago when he started doing this, he
Mhm.
had like 500 followers, and now he's got like 25,000 followers just
That's
from that little
amazing.
method.
That's also investing into yourself, which is not a lot. I'm not gonna say not a lot. There's a lot more that does not invest in themselves versus the ones that do.
Or
Right.
they think they do, and they're just going about it in the wrong way. Like investing in yourself sometimes is like investing. If you're a DJ, investing in the career, investing in, equipment, investing in your parties. Like it's not just let me buy stuff to like look nice. It's like you got to buy the stuff that'll help grow the business.
Yeah, yeah, and that means buy the stuff that you need versus the stuff that's readily available right now.
Right.
A new controller isn't going to make money. The uplights are going to make money. If I buy the uplights, that's going to make me money back. The
That's true.
controller, no one's going to see. I mean, it's fun for you, but
Right.
it doesn't necessarily make you money.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Perfect example. Perfect example.
How long have you been doing the radio stuff now here in Cincy?
Ooh, let's see. I had a short stint on the Wiz for a couple years, and then I came back to the WOSL. I think this will be my 10th year, ninth
I
or
was
10th year.
thinking it's been at least 10 years that I know
Yeah.
you've been on and doing that.
Yeah.
Are you live mixing, or do you pre-record and send them in?
It's the magic of radio. I can't never tell that. Sometimes it's live mixing, sometimes it's pre-recorded. Depends on
Right.
what you're doing. But it is a 5-hour mix show on Saturday nights. I think it's the longest mix show in the country. For 5 hours of mixing every Saturday night. It's called the Saturday Night Boombox B-side. So
that's awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm sure it's hard, definitely, to stay fresh after 5 hours every time.
Yeah.
No, and I'm sure it also has evolved over the years too. Like the
yeah.
first couple of years, you probably went into the radio station all the time, and then over time, it's like, well, I got this gig that pays a little bit more, so let me send this in.
Yeah.
No, and I understand that. I'm just I'm always curious about the way the radio works, if they push that or not.
Well, some stations push that they want, their mixers in the booth. Some do not, and that goes across the country. But I think some people understand that Saturday night, the holy grail of the weekend. And others don't. So it just depends on the luck of the draw.
But that is a big deal. That's a great show. That's a great time slot to have. I'm sure that helps push you pretty big. People listen to you all night.
It's the weird thing about DJing is that on the radio is that you don't know if anybody's listening. It's just you, right?
Right.
It's just
Right.
you. There's no instant feedback. It's not like, being live streaming on Facebook or Instagram or any of the other platforms. And you can see reactions, or even on Twitch, you can see
Yeah.
reactions in the booth. It's just you and the controller or a turntable. And your laptop. That's it. Like, you don't know.
Well, so Fuse was telling me that over pandemic, you went onto Twitch and got a huge following, and we're getting some big numbers on Twitch.
Yeah.
That leads us right into this. Is like you're saying, the radio didn't give you that instant gratification. Now all of a sudden you're getting it. So radio's kind of dying because of all these new mediums that you're able to interact with people so much quicker. Are you still doing Twitch?
Oh yeah.
And yeah, okay,
Yeah. So Twitch came about because of the pandemic. When we
right,
first started out, when things shut down, we just thought it was going to be a week, maybe a week or two, something
Right.
until the breeze is over. And so we were all at home, bored. Well, I had to work every day. Like, the fire department didn't shut down, but
yeah,
everybody else was bored and, said, hey, why don't we live stream? We started seeing people pop up live stream, and it was fine for a split second. Then everybody started getting cut off, right? Like, even Jazzy Jeff was getting kicked off. D Nice had the magic key. I don't know what he did, but he had the magic
Right.
key.
yeah,
And so, we spent a lot of time and a lot of equipment buying, like, the iRigs and iRig streams and everything, trying to figure out how this works. A friend of mine had said, hey, there's this platform called Twitch. It's usually like a gamer's platform, but we're starting to see a lot of DJs pop up and you don't get cut off. I was like, holy crap. So checked it out. It worked out. That was in 2020. Like, it's 2024, and it's still going strong. I'm a partner with Twitch, get paid by Twitch. That's pretty cool. So, and this is all stuff that I consider like practice. You meet people
right.
from across the world. There's all types of people that send your stream. Because of Twitch, I have a broader reach. You can go to any city now and knows at least one Twitch DJ, or
Right.
any country, and it's pretty tight knit family.
Yeah.
How often are you streaming?
I haven't been streaming as much as I used to. I used to stream 4 days a week. I think now it's down to Mondays, the occasional Wednesday, but usually it's Monday, Thursday, Saturday.
Okay.
Saturday is the biggest show. It's called Pine Soul. It's like the old school Saturday morning show, cleaning up, funk, R&B, stuff like that, and people come in and sing and clean. We have a good time.
Sing
you
and
got-
clean. I like that.
I love it. Yeah. You got some big numbers on there too. You have like your Twitch account has like 12,000 followers too. So
Yes.
it's been I feel like a lot of people were on Twitch, and a few people have made it like really a thing to where it's like, dude, I can just DJ on Twitch and like do a gig here and there. I don't really need to go do other stuff now.
Yeah,
And-
there's a few people that's like that. There's like, I'm never going back outside. I'm staying in my studio, and
Right.
for them that's cool. But once the world started opening back up, I kind of let my audience know we're called the invaders, but let them know that, hey, life is opening up. Concerts and arenas are opening back up. I'm not going anywhere, but I have to take some time off. And because they follow you on other social media platforms, they're like, oh, okay, this dude is for real. Because there's some people that get on and talk, but they're not going anywhere, right? They're not
Mhm.
doing anything outside of that, and it's fine. But they've been pretty supportive of everything I've done. Matter of fact, the birthday party, there was a lot of Twitch contingency from across the country that came to the birthday party.
It's amazing.
That's crazy. Yeah.
That is. It's first time seeing them in person. Some of them.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
that's
There's
wild.
such huge reach. It's all of these different avenues, and bringing you even more popularity. It's so cool. It's endless nowadays where you can go.
That's true. That's true. I love Cincinnati, right? And I always put it on my back anywhere I go. So we have a saying in Twitch. I'm from a tiny island off the coast of Ohio called Cincinnati. So when you have people that's in there from across the seas and they don't know where Cincinnati is and they Google it, they're like, hey, it's not an island. It's just a joke. Right? So that's the thing. It's a tiny island of Cincinnati. So,
Mhm.
I love it. Just wanted to dive into Twitch just a little bit more.
Okay.
I'm curious what you're using now, because you're talking about iRigs, and yes, it all has evolved, right? What are you using now? What are some you said Clean and Sing, which is a great name. Some of the parties that you
Pine
do.
Sol. It's Pine Sol, like
Pine
Pine
Sol.
Sol. Yeah, yeah. See?
So good, so good.
When you get on Twitch, you have to network. It's just like real life. You know, you go on other streams, and you meet people, you gain friendships, and you know when you start going live, it's not going to instantly pop up with 300 people in your stream, right? You have to build your own audience, and that's cool. I use a program called Switcher Studio to live stream to Twitch. Now, Switcher Studio only works with iOS devices, so Apple products. Right? I had a lot of like old iPads, old Apple phones laying around, and it uses them as different camera angles. So I've been using that since the pandemic and pretty much stuck with it. Versus a lot of people use OBS as the platform for Twitch and live streaming. Period. And my setup is pretty simple. I have I think an iPhone X as the camera, and I may have another angle above, and I use an iPad as the director's hub, and go from there. Hit live, and we're having a good time. Have your graphics and anything that you need, your extras to keep people's attention. You can hook up to where you can play music videos live, so it works out. So it's something to look into. I would say DJs look at it. I think when we first started during the pandemic, a lot of DJs were saying, I don't want to live stream because now I'm showing you my talents for free. If that's the case, you don't have many talents, because I don't think a live stream is going to showcase all of your talents. And then it opens up your crates, because things that I play maybe in a normal party, I don't play on Twitch, and vice versa. Like I can do a whole EDM set if I want to on Twitch and not get any shoes thrown at me at that time. So it's cool. It just opens up your ideas to a different world.
I'm sorry to bounce around here, but I'm fascinated by how much work you were putting in work. You're like all these parties you're talking about Twitch, and you're a firefighter. How do you have time for all of this? Like I've been just complaining to Fuse the other day that I'm working, 4 nights a week, and I'm like exhausted.
Well, it's just time management, man. Like sometimes I don't have time for one or the other. Well, I always have to have time for my career, because that's my career. Right. But sometimes some of the other things have to go to the wayside. Plus, I'm a husband, I'm a father, so you got to factor all that stuff in too. Right. So I don't know. I've been juggling it pretty successfully for about 25 years now. So hopefully I can still continue to. But firefighting is always going to be there, and sometimes DJ has to take a step back from it for a second.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, but even just having the balance to be able to do all of it it's commendable. So I'm impressed. I'm very impressed.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And just so you know, Drew's a big fan of Cincinnati. Even though he's out in Long Beach, he gets to make it here to Cincy quite a bit. So
all right. Well, next time you come down, I got to meet up with you all so we can.
For sure. Yeah, I would like to be able to come out and then hang out as well. That'd be awesome.
I want to come to one of your parties. Fuse was telling me you got one coming up.
Yeah, well, I got a couple coming up.
Okay.
I have it's called the T-shirt party. So me and my crew, we call ourselves the Cool Kids, and we've been doing this. This is the 13th year, and we only run this party in the summer. I think, I'm a big fan of graphic T-shirts. All DJs are, because it's the weapon of choice. Like you don't have to worry about getting dressed up, put on a cool T-shirt, and go to work, right?
Yeah.
And I think I had the idea that, instead of dressing up, because at the time everybody was like so grown and sexy that it was sickening, because they were so dressed to a T, they were scared to dance. We want to see you move.
Yeah.
So
like full suits and everything?
Yeah, man. It was a weird time. So I said I want to throw a party where everybody, you don't care about sweating out a T-shirt. We don't care about sweating out T-shirts.
Right. Especially summertime in Cincy. That's hot.
and so we have a whole party of people in T-shirts that explains themselves. You can always find a T-shirt that's going to explain your your personality or whatever. We just have a good time. And so this 13 years later, we have our premiere, 2024 premiere on Memorial Weekend on the 26th. And then the big thing that Fuse is going to be a part of is something that we're calling Stereo. So Stereo, we have a park called Sawyer Point that's here, and it's a huge park. We're going to have 4 different stages set up. We're going to have a skating rink. It starts at like 10 a.m. It goes to 10 p.m. Then we have programming and DJs at the skating rink. We're going to have the main stage. We're going to have a pickleball court stage and have a tunnel stage. And we're going to light up the tunnel in the daytime, have a stage in there. So we're talking about over 50 DJs, 50 area DJs that's going to run these stages and have a good time. And Fuse, of course, my man agreed to come and drop a set for us. And he's going to be on the main stage, and it's going to be awesome. So,
okay,
Looking forward
I'm
to it.
sorry to fanboy out a little bit. How are you doing this all by yourself? I'm like, this is crazy. That sounds incredible. I mean, that would take me all year to plan something like this. It's nuts. That sounds dope.
I am partnering up with the Cincinnati Parks and Cincinnati Parks Foundation and Skate Cincinnati.
But was this your idea and you went to them and then they helped you out? That's still like blowing me away. That's crazy.
And he did it last year, and it's evolved a little. I couldn't make it last year. It's evolved a little. This is a little bigger even this year as well.
It's bigger this year. Last year we did it in August, which was torturous because it was so hot. It was crazy hot. So and we didn't have a lot of time to promote. So, but this year we wanted to make sure that we had enough time to get the word out, and it's going to be June 1st. But herding DJs is like herding cats, man. Sometimes. So I am taking care of all the DJ aspect of it, and only because I'm in the culture. Like, it's harder for someone that's not in the culture to try to say, "Hey, would you like to come?" And so I think that my body of work has the attention of a lot of people to say, "Hey, yeah, I'll drop a 20-minute set for you," because they know I would do it for them, right? So I fully expect people to drop out because we're DJs. Like, sometimes we're not, but we originally were supposed to have 50 DJs. I think we're close to 65 now.
Oh wow,
yeah,
that's awesome, man.
Thank you.
And what I was going to get at is just it's a whole organizational thing. You got, even just on the main stage, you're going to have 2 setups, and like you said, there's a skating rink stage, there's a pickleball stage, so there's a lot of moving parts to just this day.
It is. So the winner of that day will be the stage managers on every stage. People going. My main stage manager, she is on point. So once one DJ starts, she starts a timer. And 10 minutes into the DJ set, they get the other DJ ready. So we'll have like 3 or 4 different setups on the main stage, and every other stage, at least 2 different setups. But we're telling people, bring what you're comfortable. If you're comfortable with using whatever, bring it. It's fine. We want you to be the best representation of yourself.
It's impressive, all these different parties. I love the ideas of all of them. You just kind of brainstorming these things and they come up. What other ones do you have besides those 2?
Where is the t-shirt party at that you're doing?
It's going to be at OTR Steelhouse.
Okay.
Which is a great outside. They have a huge outside and inside stage. And we started doing events there last year, and it was phenomenal. And it's a day party. So who wouldn't want to come out in the day in your t-shirt, party, and then be in the bed by 10 o'clock? Like,
right.
Do you go to like a venue and you're like, this would be a great place for this type of party, or are the venues coming to you at this stage?
It depends. It's happening both ways. But most of the time, if I'm somewhere and I'm like, oh man, this would be a great venue, I'll talk to the owners or the managers or whatever, and give them my resume or give them a vision of what could happen.
Right.
Usually my crowd is a little older, so not old, but older as we are getting older. And there's no drama, there's no issues, and everybody likes to drink. So it's a win-win. So.
Right.
Yeah, they're not going to.
I'm sad. I'm out of town all next weekend. I would like to be able to pop into that one, but I'm gonna be
There'll
gone
be
all
others
weekend.
throughout the summer. So
Yeah. I'm gonna have to pay attention. You know, one of the things that I'm like the most guilty of doing is like sometimes like there's so much cool stuff going on here in
mhm.
Cincy that I'm such in my own world that like I don't even like know half the time. I'm like, and then before you know it, the week's over, and it's like
Yeah,
the next thing,
yeah,
And one of my goals is to like come out and do some more of the cool stuff like that, just
yeah,
one off parties and stuff like that. See other guys that I don't get to see as much.
yeah. And that was the concept of stereo, because good DJs are working DJs, right? And we
Mhm.
don't always get to get out and support everybody else. But if we have the one smidge at a time that you get to see people that you may have heard of them, but you may find your new favorite DJ,
Yeah.
or somebody that you would like to collab with. And that was really the concept of it, because you have some great talent here in the city. They just don't get seen. Sorry, they're never seen.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, it's tough, and especially like you said, like you've got a ton going on, and I've got a ton going on. It's just tough sometimes to make it. I play Friday, Saturday, Sunday right now, and it's
Uh-huh.
like that's when everybody else plays pretty
Yeah,
much, and
yeah.
do you do anything at all like during the week, Monday through Friday? Like, do you do anything?
Nope. I've
Same, like
graduated, man. Uh,
same.
if there's a special event,
Right,
I
right.
basically stick to special events, or the one-offs. If there's something important enough for me to pull the equipment out, yes, absolutely. I did.
Same, but
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But as far as a residency anywhere, no. I think I got to a point where it was everything else was just so busy. And doing this particular residency, I was missing out on other things. I was missing out on going on concert tours and stuff. So
Right.
yeah.
Right. One of the things that we like to ask everybody, and we'll run a little video here, one of our segment videos, which we haven't done yet. We always like to ask for a funny or crazy DJ story. It can be from a night that's gone horribly wrong, or a night that was awesome. We'll run this video and then we'll come back.
Okay.
You're crazy. You're crazy. You're crazy, man. You're crazy.
All right.
Wow.
Every time I watch that, it gives me a little bit of anxiety.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I had something like that similar to happen. My laptop, I was at a particular venue that didn't have room for a laptop stand, but it had a kind of alcove or mantle that you could set your laptop on. And I walked away for just a split second
Oh,
to grab something from the bar. And it was like everything was slow motion, that somebody was up there talking to the next DJ. And as they were walking away, they shook the mantle, and I watched my laptop slowly fall over.
oh,
And you heard the smack. And put my head down. I walked over there slowly, and the screen was cracked. There was no, it was,
Oh no.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
man.
So that has happened in a sense. So
oh.
yeah,
I had that happen to me one time too. It's I was DJing and everyone was dancing and someone was like had their hands up and turned around and it caught the cables and I watched the laptop fly out of my hands. I was like, no, right into the middle of the dance floor. I still have it. I don't even know what were you able to pull everything off of it off the hard drive?
I
haven't
was
tried.
able to take it to the Apple store, and they replaced the screen. The hard drive,
Okay.
everything was fine. It was the screen was cracked, and they replaced it. It wasn't cheap, but they
Yeah.
replaced it.
Right.
And,
Right.
That's amazing though, because it could have been a lot worse then.
It could have been a lot worse. Could have been a lot worse, but I think the way that it fell perfectly flat on the screen and folded itself up, and couldn't ask for anything better other than them not touching it. But
Right.
Right.
outside of that, it worked out. So
Oh yeah, that sucks. Is there a story from a night, just amazing night you had? Just
Maybe even on
one
tour.
that comes to mind? Yeah, yeah.
I was on tour. I was on this R&B Experience tour, and we were in Atlanta, and there was a lot of big name artists on the bill. And there's a promoter here in Cincinnati. His name is Orlando Chapman, and it was me and him on the stage, and it was just me and him on the stage, and the whole Coca-Cola theater arena, whatever you want to call it. And we played so well that the audience actually thought we were from Atlanta. We played well to the point where some of the people that was on the lineup that had DJs were upset that we played too well. Now we didn't touch any of the music that they had going on, but it was definitely some steam coming out of their heads.
Wow.
But we had a great time. The audience had a great time. That's all that matters. So,
All
but
right.
Killed it too hard.
yeah. So that stands out. But really, the ultimate is just being on stage with Jazzy Jeff. Like that is a DJ's dream, and you want to do well, but you're still a little nervous because it's Jazzy Jeff. But it was a great night, and I will never forget that. So
That's awesome. We have one more video to run. We call it the sauce. It's like the final part of every episode, and it's just advice that you would give to your younger self, younger DJ, anything like that. We'll roll this video, and then we'll come back to you.
It's Bootsy, baby. And this shout out goes out to Drew and Fuse, all the way from Cincinnati to the LBC Barber. Yeah, I was told you guys are quite the chefs, and you got a delicious sauce that you cook up. Ooh, and it drips that swagoo and breaks down the recipe. Yeah, and you giving up the pig, cause it's funky. As in good, that is. Finger funkin' good. On the one by the power of the one. Yeah, without that, there is none. So get yours and be in tune with the one that loves you. Get it, baby.
I love it.
Right.
Finger funkin' good. Oh, I love it.
He's a Cincinnati local, right?
Yes, he is. He is a living legend, man. We love that guy. I would say to younger DJs, invest in yourself. Like, you're the best representation that you can ever give. Make sure that if you're treating this as a business, treat it like a business. Invest in yourself. Buy the things that you want versus the things that's readily available. Take the time to learn. If you don't know, there's a lot of us around that's willing to teach you, willing to show you the ropes so that you don't make the same mistakes that we did, right? But please, please, please treat it as a business. Save your money. That way you can do more things with it later versus tricking it off as soon as you get paid that night. That's my sauce.
Yeah. I
Love
like
it.
it.
Love it.
Great advice. We all forget about it as we're coming up slowly. We're just forget about it, and you're just like, yeah, it's just blowing it all off. But yeah, definitely investing in yourself. And when you're older, you're gonna like it, and you're gonna be able to do your own parties like this. You're not gonna have to hustle on the weekly grind. So no, I'm inspired by your hustle for sure.
I appreciate you. Thank you, man. I appreciate you fellas for having me. It's an honor.
No, thank you. We appreciate you taking the time to come and be on here with us. Before we jump off here, do you want to tell everybody just where they could find you on social media, or one more time, any events you got coming up that you want to mention?
Okay. All right. Well, it's DJ Vader, hailing in from Tiny Island of Cincinnati. You can find me at Vader Mix, VADERMIXX on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and more, and on Twitch at twitch.tv/DJ Vader Mix with 2 X's. And come and join the fun. You can see what it's all about. Shout out to my Cool Kids crew. We have the legendary t-shirt party on May 26th at OTR Stillhouse. You can get tickets at djvmix.com/events. And of course, Stereo 24 with over 50 DJs, including Fuse, my man, with 4 different stages, is going down June 1st at Sawyer Point. So
You got that radio voice, man. I'm impressed. Right when we asked you, it was like, bam, here we go. Turn it on.
oh man,
So good. So
this
good.
is great, man. Thank you so much, man.
No problem. No problem. And that's going to wrap up the show for today. So until next time, we'll see you guys later. Thank you.
All right, thank you.